Well, good morning, Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. Welcome to everyone there in the sanctuary, and welcome to everyone on Zoom and on the phone. Um, my name is Lynette Horn, and I'll be your practitioner for today. I want to thank Gilbert for the beautiful music. Although I couldn't hear it, it was kind of going in and out on the sound here. But thank you. We're so blessed to have Gilbert playing music for us now and always. So thank you, Gilbert. Um, today, like I said, today is September 3rd, 2023. And we're starting a new month with a new theme. The monthly theme is Love Out Loud. And the weekly topic title is I Love Myself So Much. So, just a little thing. I am joining you from my home in Medina County, and we got a beautiful sunny day. I think it's safe to say you do in Cleveland too. And we're so blessed to have this beautiful, just temperate weather. So grateful for the beautiful sunshine today. So, anyways, as we get started, let's just center down as I say the location. So we'll just turn within for a moment. Turn within to that still quiet point where we turn to God and God turns to us. And so, Divine Spirit, we recognize your presence right here, right now, in Miracle Center for Spiritual Living Sunday morning service. We recognize your presence within us, and we recognize your presence in each and every one. And in this recognition, we know that we are one. We are one in God. We know that God is love and love is all there is. And we feel this love within us so much that this joy and this peace is all there is also. And so, as I speak my word for this morning service, I just bless this service, knowing that all things are in divine order. I bless each and every one that has worked behind the scenes to make this service come together in a beautiful, ease, and graceful way, giving thanks for each one of us to be here to receive the message. We are here freely and on our own to be open minded, to be open with our hearts, to be open to receive this beautiful message that will come forth through every bit of this service, expressing God in this beautiful, loving way. So, just giving thanks for all these great blessings that are ours to receive each and every moment as we really do see with our wakefulness. I just give thanks and blessing this morning's service and each and every one here are blessed. And together we do say, and so it is. Okay. Well, like I said, thank you all so much for being here. And we have an affirmation if you turn to your bulletin, we can say this together. The affirmation reads, I have the courage to be I and love myself out loud. Let's say that again together. I could hear you a little bit. I have the courage to be I and love out loud. Oh, that sounds sweet. And now we do have a song called Express Yourself. All right. I remember that song. That takes us back, I think, to the mid 60s or something, late 60s. Anyways, express yourself. Love it. um, Now, going back to the program on our monthly theme summary, in Science of Mind, we often say that the word God is synonymous with love. Because God is all there is, love must be all there is. But in a world filled with war, violence, and division, it's challenging to see that God or love resides behind the darkness. This month, we are being invited to lean into love and express love out loud. Let's look for love in every place we go, in the people we interact with, the events of the world, and most of all, within ourselves. If we want to see more love in the world, we must be willing to live as an example of love in action. And the summary of today's topic, enjoying the experience of being loved and loving others starts with loving ourselves. So if we want to encourage others to love themselves, we must love ourselves out loud. The people around us would benefit from knowing about our own self-love practices. Others are more likely to commit to their own practices after seeing how effective they are for people who they love. Let's dive deeper into loving ourselves and share our experience with the world. And then the Science of Mind point of view. On the Science of Mind, page 433 says, ultimately, we shall see that the universe rests on the shoulder of love, and that God is love, and that all the errors of man are the result of ignorance of his own true nature. An evolved soul judges no one, condemns no one, but realizes that all are on the road of experience, seeking the same goal, and that each must ultimately find his home in heaven. Unquote. Living a spiritual life requires a conscious understanding that spirit or love expresses itself as all of us. Recognizing the divinity within all of us starts with recognizing our own divinity. When we consciously direct the energy of love, we transformed the communities around us. Our own intuition is the way that spirit communicates with us. When we listen to our intuition and allow it to guide us, we are living in the flow of love. And that is so beautiful. And so on that note, I invite Reverend June Clark, and she is going to deliver the message called I Love Myself So Much. So, welcome, Reverend June. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, it's beautiful here in Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm just good today. How is everybody? Good, good. And my special friend is here. Good morning, dear. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. Fran's cousin is visiting with us. She comes to visit periodically, and she's a special, special lady, special friend. Good to see you. Okay, so this morning, we've got all this love, love, love. Isn't it wonderful to have a happy, just something, well, I say something easy to talk about, because sometimes these topics of the month for Miracle Center for Spiritual Living take a little bit of a challenge for me to get into, but love, of course, is just wonderful and easy, and we need it right now. So this month, we're going to be focusing on love. And as we know, what we focus on goes beyond us personally, goes beyond us at home, in our homes. It goes on beyond the city. It goes on beyond the state. And there's a city, what's that city? Washington, D.C., where some people congregate once in a while to do some things about love, that we can center our love and send it up there, and it's all going to be wonderful. Yes, amen. A little bit of political plug there this morning. So we're going to move into the lesson. Love is at the center of man, woman's being, and the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by love. And that's from the Science of Mind, page 238. It's always the truth. It's just sometime, every little bitty once in a while, I think some of us, and we don't have to raise our hands or anything, but some of us kind of forget that love is at the foundation of every breath that we take, every sight that we hear, that we see, every word that we speak, everything that we hear. Since God is us expressing, it has to be love that we see, hear, think, smell, taste, interact as, with. So it's just that simple, just that simple. And the awareness of love, it's a 4-letter word. There's a couple other words that are 4-letter words that are sometimes in our vocabulary. When we get upset, we might say, oh, we might say a word that starts with H, H-A-T-E, which is, it's the opposite. It's not, it actually is not even an opposite. It's a no thing. It's a nothing. But there's some 4-letter words that are very wonderful in our experience. And love is the one that conquers all, the one we ought to think on, the one that we are. And it's just really that simple. The next paragraph here, as all is mind, and as we attract to us what we first become. That's something to think about. Really seriously think about. As we attract to us what we first become. Whew. We didn't get the way we are. We didn't get the way we are because of someone else, believe it or not. We like to think that sometime. As what's his name, the comedian used to say, the devil made me do it. Was Flip Wilson. The devil made me do it. And it was cute and it was funny, but it's not true. It is just not true. And it's not used, at least by me, it's not used commonly until something happens that I don't want to take responsible for. or that you don't want to take responsible for. Oh, if so-and-so hadn't called me, or oh, if this hadn't happened, and if they hadn't sent me that letter. And then you get upset or I get upset and all bent out of shape, and it's no one else's thing. It's me, it's you. As we attract to us what we first become, until we learn to love, we are not sending out love. I'll finish it. We are not sending out love vibrations, and not until we send out those vibrations can we receive love in return. Nobody's calling me. Gee, I don't think I have any friends. Oh, gosh, that keeps happening to me. Oh, if I look like I'm 15, that's the way it makes me feel when I say stuff like that. Nothing, nobody else can create the feelings that you have, can create the knowledge that you have, can create the God awareness that you have, and the God awareness is who you are. Love vibrations, and not until we send out those vibrations can we receive love in return. And if you're following me in the book, it says page 297, 290, yes, it says page 297, and actually it's on page 298 that I found this reference. And it says in the textbook, the reason that, let me go, I can see why it said 297 because it's about a statement. I'll go back to 297 and make sure we get it all. In order to have this relationship enduring, true, really worthwhile, and a thing of beauty, we should cultivate an attitude of friendship toward everyone and everything. The one who has learned to love all people will find plenty of people who will return that love. This is not mere sentiment, and it is more than a religious attitude of mind. It is a deep scientific fact, and one to which we should pay attention. Pay attention. What do you pay attention to? When I walked in this room, there was another lady with me. There was nobody else in here. Okay? Okay, June. It's a holiday weekend. Very, very instantly that goes through one end of the mind through the other. I'm not empty-headed, so I know it goes through real quick. There's nobody here. Well, it's a holiday weekend. Well, Reverend Mary Louise used to say, where two or more are gathered, that's where God is. Okay, so settle down. There's at least two people here. Do you ever do that? Do you ever just jump out of trust and love and knowing and your science of mind, your God self, and you just go, whoop, like, it's awfully quiet in here. I guess I'm the only one that does that. Like, loop, you forget. So as all is mind, and as we attract to us what we first become, until we learn to love, we are not sending out love vibrations, and not until we send out those vibrations can we receive love in return. And we got folks in here. See? That's stupid for sign language. We got people here. But I do slip. I do slip. But when I slip, see, I stepped a little further. When I do slip, I get right back. And that's what you have to do. Don't bring out the 2x4 and make it worse, or admit that it's true. Don't even admit that, see, I admitted it was true, but it was. Just keep on going. Keep on going, keep loving, keep knowing. This word love is so encompassing. It's so much more than the movies, and I love you, dear, and I love you too. Smack, smack, kiss, kiss, turn to black. You know, that's the way they used to make movies. But it's love is so wonderful. It heals. It brings up a feeling. The lady that I was with this morning, she shared about a future of something that's going to happen for her. And immediately my love came out, and my response was, I'll keep you in prayer. That's love. That's what comes up for us. And seeing my friend here this morning, that's love. You know, it's just feels good to see all of you here this morning. It's love, and it's perfect. So we're going to move on. I got quite a few things to do today, so I'm not gonna do a whole lot of bird walking. Intuition is spirit knowing itself. Knowing itself. And what else are we, and who else are we to know except our wonderful, wonderful self? Wonderful self. Not ain't it awful self, or I wish I was different self, but our wonderful self. And on page 113 in the textbook, again, in the Science of Mind, intuition is spirit knowing itself. And in the second paragraph, the spirit of man seems to have an external and an internal perception. It's not saying that there's more than one God. It's just saying that there is an internal within us and an external, which we see, we can view, we can touch, perception, what we see. Its external perception is by appearance. It's internal through intuition. If you think that you need to sit down because you feel a little dizzy, it's your intuition speaking to you. Don't wait till you fall over flat on your face. And I know I'm talking extreme, but think about little things that happen that if you had not followed your gut, that woulda, coulda been worse. So listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your wisdom within. Not necessarily about falling over on the floor, but that too. But what's going on in your life? Believe yourself. Believe in the God self that is you. Appearances would limit the future possibilities of man to the uses he has already made of life. Been there, done that. Life happens to be capitalized, so it's God. But in your life, you had intuition about something. You went ahead and did it. You say, well, that didn't turn out so good. It turned out the way it's supposed to. There's only God. If you have the same intuition, try it again. God is all there is, giving you a second chance. I don't know. But don't knock your intuitive self. Righteously and not by appearances. Hence, we are told to judge righteously and not by appearances. Plotinus tells us that there are three ways by which we gather knowledge: through science, through opinion, and through intuition or illumination. What comes to you and you say, oh my God, I just thought about that. I just had that thought, and here it is. I see it on TV, or that just happened. Intuition. We all have it. Sometimes we ignore it, but it's the truth because it's something that came up through our God sense. These channels represent spiritual capacities since each is an avenue leading to self-knowingness, and self-knowingness is the very nature and the essence of spirit. Science is spirit, inducing its, capital I, God-owned laws. Intuition, capital I, intuition is spirit knowing itself. How well do you know yourself? I would guarantee that everyone within, no, not in the sound of my voice, because I can't see you out there, but everyone that is in this room, Chris is not here today, everybody is over 25 years old. I guarantee that because that's what my eyes tell me. So, inducing its own laws. Intuition is spirit knowing itself. We all know ourselves. You really do. Because when somebody tells you that you're not correct or that you don't know what you're talking about, you get real ticked off. Because I know who I am. You can't tell me you don't say that. I know who I am. So we do know ourselves. We just do. Opinion is our estimate of reality. I have an opinion. I have a judgment. I have a personal observation about why they wore that dress. I have, Reverend Leora and I decided one day, we call it ethical appraisal. I know that doesn't change it, but we stopped judging people. We used to travel like 4 hours to go to Lake Havasu to talk on Sundays, and we had to go on Saturday. Anyway, we were in the car for a long time together, and we talk about stuff. That, no, don't judge. It's an ethical appraisal. So if that makes you feel better, then go ahead and have ethical appraisals, but don't judge. All are spiritual faculties and should be considered in the study of this science. The race is growing into a broader divinity from age to age as more and more reality opens before its onward march into its eternal progress. When I first was in Science of Mind, and whoever it was talking about the race this, the race that, I was ignorant of that particular meaning, and I thought they were talking about the difference between white people and Black people. I was making an ethical appraisal. I was making an incorrect evaluation of what was being said. And I can remember getting upset about it. And that's okay, because I'm ignorant about a lot of things, and so are we. But when I found out the truth, now when I say that it is about the race is growing into broader divinity, it's talking about the human race. So the best thing to do, I say that because, again, judging something, not knowing something is just okay. But if you don't know for sure, don't talk about it. You can think about it. You can ask a question about it. Then you find out what the truth is. And then you can evaluate whether you want to believe it or like it or not. But don't just jump off right into the blue and think, oh my gosh, anyhow. So we'll move on. Love is the essential existential fact, the fact beyond all facts. It is our ultimate reality and our purpose on earth. We're back to last month's theme, which was purpose. We have a purpose to be here. We are a purpose to be here for many, many, many unknown, again, ignorant facts of what will come up in our lives, really sometime what's happening right now, but we have a purpose. We have a reason to be here in whatever suit we're in, what space suit, whatever skin suit, life suit, body that we're in. We have a purpose. So I'm going to go back and read the whole sentence. Developing and maintaining a personal purpose is a wonderful way to remain grounded in recognizing spirit in its expression as us. God is expressing as us. And we're all so beautiful. We're all so wonderful. We're all so divine. We truly are. And every once in a while, if you don't feel that way, maybe get up and wash your hands and wash that away. If you're around negative energy, it's said to just go home and take a shower or wash your hands or wash your face off. Just wash it away. Jesus washed the feet of people. He was so humble that he would wash someone's feet. Wash your hands, get rid of that energy. Don't be around them anymore. Just don't be around them. Spiritual practice is not restricted to prayer and meditation. Don't sit in pose. If you can cross your legs, I don't do that anymore. Harder to get up these days. I'm serious. You can be in meditation, you can be quiet, you can be within, but don't think that's going to solve all your issues. Look at them, think about them, dissect them. A practice of self-love could consist of exercise, knitting, assembling a puzzle, or playing Candy Crush on your phone. I have a phone, I have a flat phone. I don't play games. I can hardly work the phone. But for those of you that do Candy Crush, that's a form of, I guess, meditation or relaxation. Your practice may look different every day, which is fine. Intention to practice self-love is all, capital A, is all that is needed. God is the only thing we need. As we tweak our own practice and reap the benefits, let's share our journeys with the people around us. How come, or if you do, if you don't, that's great. But if you do, share your consciousness, your wonderfulness with people who don't. It's not whether or not they understand it, because a lot of people don't understand science of mind lingo and people's attitude and stuff. But if you're around an uncomfortable group of people, why? Why? Do you go home, look in the mirror and talk to yourself? People that love you. Why? That's a word Jerry doesn't like, because he don't like to answer questions of why. That's a good idea, Jerry. Yes, it is. Can't figure them out, just leave them alone. That's all that's needed. As we tweak our own practice and reap the rewards, let's share our journeys with people around us. The science of mind does not need to be the world's best kept secret. I've been told that over and over and over again. But my view is, like myself, when I was brought to it, and it wasn't just being brought to it, I chose to go when I chose to go because of seeing other people, especially my sister around me, who was so just lit in a positive way, life-changing individual. I wanted some of that. And I wanted to know why. So I went to a Science of Mind church. I started class the day after I walked out of that church on Sunday. I started class on Monday. I was brought to it and I accepted it. So when it says the science of mind does not need to be the world's best kept secret, it is until it is recognized and it is accepted and it's brought to the individual. I know we've had many, many people before I came here to Cleveland. It was the same in the churches in California that I was familiar with. There's a song, something like people come, people go. It's just innate within us. When it's caught, when it's loved, when it's accepted. I don't say understood because I don't understand all of this yet. I don't understand all of the Bible yet. I don't understand all of the Catholicism that I was brought up on yet. But I do believe in God, and I do believe that I am God expressing through this teaching that has saved me to be who I am today. And I use the word saved with a capital S. The science of mind does not need, I read that. When we love ourselves out loud, we inspire others to do the same. And that I do believe is true. And I had something, oh, no, that's not it, but that's enough. That's enough of that. That's the end of the bulletin references. What I want to get into for myself is my concept after working with this all week was, I don't believe, and it's just my belief, that one can understand any faith-based information, I'll say religion, what you read, books that you read that are not necessarily science of mind, or but they're new thought. I don't believe that I myself could be at the point that I am in my life without forgiveness. And so I said I wouldn't talk too much because on this, because you can read these references and we know love, we are loved. But I want to address, and I wrote on my book, my bulletin here. Susie enlarges this for me, so it blesses me to be able to read it. I wrote on here, I circled the word practice. It's on just these references 6 times. 6 times it says practice. And on page 418 in the 5th paragraph, 418. Just a second. 418, it references forgiveness. Ignorance stays with us until the day of enlightenment, until our vision toward the spirit broadens and casts out the image of a no longer useful littleness. What we now experience, we may cease experiencing if we have the will and the imagination to set our vision in an opposite direction and hold it there. It is the office of the imagination to set the vision. The will should hold it in place until the creative genius, which is us, of the inner life transforms the image of limitation and transmutes it into liberty under the law. Until we forgive, that's mine, that's my belief. Until we forgive, I'm not just speaking about science of mind. I'm speaking about any trust in God. I don't think it can happen until we trust in God. And on page 365 of the textbook, let me see if I marked these correctly. Yes, 365, second paragraph. The answer to every question is within man, because man is within spirit, and spirit is an indivisible whole. That's both words are capitalized, and an exclamation mark. The solution to every problem is within man, us, man, woman, child. The healing of all dis-ease is within man. The forgiveness of all sin is within man. The rising of the dead is within all man. Heaven, capital, is within man. This is why Jesus prayed to this indwelling, to us. I am, and said, this is Jesus' words, our Father. Our Father, which art in heaven. And again, he said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. If you can accept that, my belief is that you could walk into a hall that is of people that are chanting Buddhist rites. You can go into a Hebrew a temple. Thank you. Temple. And you can absorb and you can feel the energy, and you can Zoroastrianism, and there's so many forms of religion. I go to the temple, the hall with my daughter and her family that are Jehovah's Witness, and I get as much God and Jesus, maybe more Jesus than I get here. And I understand it, and I know it, and I accept it. Now, whatever their belief is about coming here may not be the same as mine going there, but I know that I can go anywhere and take God with me and understand what's being said to me. Amen. So, and forgiveness to me is a huge part of that. And 4375 is Jesus forgives a man and heals him. That's from Matthew 9:5-6, if you want to look at the Bible. Now, some of the scribes who heard Jesus tell the sick man that his sins were forgiven said, he blasphemed God in attempting to forgive sins. But Jesus, reading through their thoughts, didn't have to argue. Jesus, reading through their thoughts and knowing what was in their minds, asked them if it were easier to forgive or to heal. Quote, for whichever is easier to say, thy sins are forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk. What if we're injured by someone's, like Jesus could read the thoughts. You can read people's thoughts. You don't have to deny it. I know you can. And you can hear, all of us within here can hear what people say, how they look, thoughts. So is it easier to say that you forgive or to heal? For whether it's easier to say, thy sins be forgiven thee, or to say, arise and walk. What a beautiful affirmation. In order to prove his position, he healed the man, saying, arise, take up thy bed, and go unto thine house. What if you just keep your mouth closed, open your mind, and say, I bless you, and go on your way? Think about that. And I've got just a quick more because I want Laverne to get up here and do what she's going to do. So on page 481, very close here. Sorry. I can read numbers. I get a little sometime. 480. I'm sorry. It's 438:1. I knew it was close. Okay, 438:1. Did that one for you? Okay, 438:5. We shall do well to remember this lesson. Being able to read thought, he knew just what step to take in revealing the burden of this man's mind. Reveal the burden of your own mind before telling him to arise and walk. We shall do well to remember this lesson, how often we condemn when we should forgive. How often censure when we might praise. What untold grief of heart might be relieved by words of cheer and forgiveness, especially should this lesson be remembered in the training of children, for they so readily respond to the thoughts of others. We are all children. Somewhere in our innards, we can be hurt. We can be touched by a look or by a word spoken or by anything. So don't forget to be conscious of others. And on 439:2, no cloth and old garments, and that's from Matthew 19:17. In saying that no man puts a piece of new cloth on an old garment or new wine in old bottles, Jesus was teaching a lesson in religious development. We are consciously living a new life, thank goodness. And when the old and the new do not fit nicely together, the old being no longer able to contain the new, and that's just okay. In fact, it's far better than cramming everything together and something getting old and stinky and not useful anymore. Being no longer able to contain the new should be discarded. Continually, we must expect new revelation of old truths. We should never lose sight of the fact that the soul is on the path of endless and ever expanding experience, and that only by expansion can it evolve. So at the point I am in my life, all I want to do is evolve. Just keep on stepping, keep on being well, keep on growing in consciousness, keep on keeping on and keeping on. So I'm going to stop there because I want Laverne to come up and do our principles with us and what she has to read. And then I'll do a closing and then we'll do the last song. And with the last song, there won't be any words spoken. It's just take the last song into your heart. Principles too? Yeah, you have. Yeah, you got a lot.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Love is in the air.
All right.
That's all it is. We must deliberately trade in the old ideas of lack and limitation, of fear and pain, and in their place create new ideas of abundance, of peace, of joy, of friendship, and of opportunity. We must learn to expect more. We must cause the mind to dwell on happy rather than unhappy situations, to look for the positive and affirmative in life. The Declaration of Principles. I believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existing cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. I believe in the incarnation of spirit in man, and that all men are incarnations of the one Spirit. I believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. I believe that the kingdom of heaven is within myself, and that I experience this kingdom to the degree that I become conscious of it. I believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. I believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. I believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. I believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of man, and that any man may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. I believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. I believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. I believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. I believe in my own soul, my own spirit, and my own destiny. For I understand that the life of man is God, and so it is.
Amen. As we move into spiritual mind treatment, we have our Gilbert's wife. Please keep her in prayer. Her name is Betty. We have our Lewis Jones, who and Linda Jones, Lewis's sister. I went to her going away expression ceremony yesterday. And anyone else in our dear congregant here in this room who's going to have surgery in a couple of weeks, just bring to mind anyone in your heart who is the oneness and the love of love, who might need extra special healing balm this particular day. And within ourselves, know that the forgiveness that we are allowing ourselves to be, the forgiveness that we are allowing ourselves to recognize, the purpose that we are, the practice that we are, which is all God. There's only God. And as we address ourselves in word, in written form, in silent prayer, we are not only addressing ourselves, we are addressing the universal allness. For we are that power, and we are that powerful. And the acceptance of these truths of love and all the words that were read and all the thoughts that were thought and the song that was sung and the song that you will hear. This is the beauty of life. This is the truth of life. This is the ongoing flow. A vision of waterfalls just came across my eyes, and it's ongoing, it's continuing, and it's powerful, and it's love, and it's beauty. You are that, and that is you. I am that I am. Continue to be blessed. Continue to bless all those who are willing to serve our country, and bless the message that we believe in, that it also gets to their heart and their ear. And as we're coming up, start now reminding each other to vote, to speak out through our heart, to speak out through our consciousness, and let it be known that God is I am. And knowing this, I simply give thanks for this loving truth, for those who are here before me, those who are on Zoom, and those who know we're here and aren't here, but they're going to come back in here, and they're going to come on Zoom. And those who don't know about us yet, they're coming too. We bless everything and all things. And knowing that this is our truth, let us simply say together, and so it is. Amen. And I thank you, Fran, for sending me this beautiful song. And it fits our talk today. And please just take it in and listen with your heart. And there will be no words spoken after the song. Can we say amen? Amen. Amen. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Reverend June, for that beautiful message, and what a beautiful performance, that song, I'm Ready for My Change. How touching, how beautiful. Thank you. Well, please join me for the benediction. So, turning within now, Divine Spirit, beloved God, just giving thanks for all that we have received today through this message, for all the love and the peace and the joy that we have been open and receptive to receive and to be. God is, I am, all that love, peace, and joy, and giving thanks for the lessons in forgiveness, giving thanks for our knowingness of all the good, that is God, all the good that is within us. Knowing all this good, we are healed, we are whole, we are perfect, and we are complete in God. And we are ready for our change in all this, being open and aware and forgiving and conscientious of others and loving ourselves and loving each other. So giving thanks for this beautiful message of love today we receive. And I just give thanks, and together we say, and so it is. Amen. Well, I guess there's a few announcements. On the back of the bulletin, there's a few announcements, so I just go over them really quickly. Our Keys to Wisdom discussion is still going on Thursdays, 1:30 to 2 p.m. And it's quite a lively conversation, so join us by telephone or by Zoom at that time if you're free on Thursdays. Sometimes I can make it, sometimes I can't, but when I do, I'm so glad that I was able to. And then there's a special raffle going on, the African Bronze Maasai Woman figurine to support our fundraising for our church. And that goes on until September 17th. You can buy as many tickets as you like. Each ticket is $5. That's a chance to win this beautiful bronze statue and to help out our church. So the date is coming soon, so get your tickets. And then the fashion show, which is going to be fabulous. So that is on September 16th, a Saturday at 2 p.m. till 5 p.m. The tickets are $20. And so get your tickets and come bring a friend, tell everyone. And there's a light luncheon, and our own Gilbert Zachary is going to have our jazz interlude there. So it's going to be a nice event. Looking forward to that. So we'll still have more in the coming weeks until that date. So I believe that's all of our announcements. And so I guess you'll just circle up to sing the peace song. And that concludes this morning's service. Thank you all for being here.